Thanks for joining us on the world's largest small business summit online. Ever wonder what kind of technology you'll need to start up your own small business? Well, this is a question on many entrepreneurs' minds, and here to answer that question and lots more, Brian Six, a Dell Technical Sales Specialist who's joining us via satellite from Austin, Texas area. Great to have you with us, Brian.
Great to be here.
All right, so let's start with the basic building blocks, the basic IT building blocks that we might have to have if we're going to start up our own small business.
Yes, some of the things that you need to take a look at, first off, is to look at, with your employees, are you wanting them to be more mobile or stationary? Are you looking at desktops, notebooks? Also, you need to look at what type of security you're looking at for your business. Also, do you need a server-based network? Also, how will you store your data? What type of printing you're going to go with, and also what type of service and support you plan on having for your business to help you out through any sort of problems that might occur.
All right, so let's go through each one of these, if we could, little by little, to get a little more information. So when you're setting up employee workstations, what things do you want to keep in mind there to start with?
First, you want to know if you need mobility for your employees. For example, if you have a sales force or you have managers that need to be more mobile, you might want to take a look at getting a notebook for that employee. If it's somebody more along the lines of an admin or a receptionist, you might be looking more like at a desktop.
Okay, so a desktop better for people who are going to be more stationary, laptop better for people who need mobility.
That's correct.
Okay, and you say that wireless internet is the best choice. Why is that?
What it does is it allows your employees, especially the more mobile ones, to be able to move within the company, either conference rooms or at their desk, to be able to access their data. Also, it's much easier to set up because you don't have to run Ethernet cables through the walls.
All right, and then how important is security? Obviously, this is something that's really important to small businesses who may not have all the information stored on a large server. How do we keep from having our data stolen?
Security is very important. AMI Research did a study and showed that 60% of small businesses had at least one security intrusion into their company that cost on average the company about $2,300. And the way you take care of this on the outside is you want to set up a firewall router to protect the information inside your network. And inside your network, you want to set up, for example, Microsoft's Active Directory to be able to set up security within the network as well.
All right, so if you're talking about setting up this firewall, is that something that I would need an IT specialist to come in and do for me? Is that something I can do myself?
For most businesses these days, through SonicWall or D-Link or Netgear, have built-in, easy-to-set-up routers. So it's basically plug and play.
All right, we've also learned that Microsoft's new operating system, Vista, has a system of encrypting information when you log off to protect the data as well.
Yes, that is correct. For users such as laptops, you can encrypt the hard drive so that if your laptop is stolen or you've lost it, the data on the hard drive is encrypted so that somebody with malicious intent can't take your data.
Do small businesses, Brian, need to have a server-based network, or can we get away without having to go that far?
It depends. For companies that have, if your data is extremely important to you and that you want ease of management, having a server-based network is much better because it centralizes your data so that when you're doing backups or any sort of admin type stuff that you can get to it easily. For example, when you set up Active Directory and you have different users, you can set up those users, their information, their security settings, what information they can look at through Active Directory on Small Business Server. So basically that's what a basic server gives you, is it gives you centralized management.
All right, and it's also great for email and file sharing, isn't it?
That is correct. With Microsoft Small Business Server 2008 and 2003, it gives you the capability of Exchange, so you can have your own internal email. That also gives you the capability of sharing calendars between your employees. Also, it comes with a SQL Server, which is a database program that allows you to keep track of your customers' information.
All right, so how do I take measures to ensure that my data, if it is stolen or something happens, it's lost, what do I do to recover from that type of catastrophe?
what you need to have is you need to have some sort of backup media that you trust and you find reliable, that you can put your data on and then take it off site. And to be able to do that, you would use a program such as Symantec Small Business Server Suite, which basically is one software program and one GUI interface that allows you to back up your Exchange data, your SQL data, and your file data to whatever media you wish that you find reliable that you can then take off site, so that if there is a natural disaster or if somebody deletes something, you have access to that data. Because your data is very important, because for most small businesses, if you lose your data, most likely you're probably going to go out of business.
Right. We've heard backup, backup, and backup. Those are the 3 rules to protect your information.
Very much so.
Yes.
Backup is very key to do that every night and to take that data home with you.
What was that you mentioned?
Or to a fire safe.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. What did you say about a GUI interface? You were talking over my head. I don't know what that is, Brian. Did I get that right?
Yes, a GUI interface is for those who do not like command line interface or the old DOS format. GUI interface is basically like Vista or Windows XP.
All right. That sounds like something like you deal with a 2-year-old kid or something. So thank you for setting me straight on that, Brian. All right. Well, all small businesses need to be able to print documents. And, you know, we've all had printers jam, run out of ink. They can be kind of nightmarish. So how should we set up a really reliable and great printer?
What you first need to do is have some sort of print server. So it goes back to the Windows Small Business Server. Is you plug your printer into the server, and what that does for you is it allows you to centralize the management of the printer so that you can set up, for example, if your Salesforce doesn't need to be able to print color documents, you can set it up to where they're not wasting your color toner, so that saves you on cost. And also you want to look at the support options you have, so that if you do have a failure in a part, you can get that part within 4 hours.
Yeah, that was my next question. So if we have all the systems set up, who is out there to help support me?
For example, Dell, we have a new Pro Support service option, and what that does for you is we tailor the support option depending on your equipment, so that you don't have a blanket agreement, so that you have mission-critical 4-hour response on an item such as a desktop that doesn't necessarily need its part within 4 hours. What we do is we help maximize your dollar by creating next business day service, for example, for a desktop, for an admin. But for your server and your printer, we have 4-hour response, so that we can have that printer or that server up for you within 4 hours.
All right, Brian, thank you so much for your time today. And to learn more about Dell solutions and products, go to Dell.com. Or to find a Microsoft small business IT specialist, visit Microsoft.com/smallbusiness.